Hey rich friends, what do you think are the most important habits for building wealth? When most people think about the habits of rich and wealthy people, we think that they became rich and wealthy because they executed some very hard habits like working 20 hours a day, waking up by 3 a.m., not eating more than one meal a day. Yeah, while this may be true, that some of them did practice some of this hard or crazy habit at some point in their wealth building journey, what I've realized is that the wide majority of rich and wealthy people get that way by executing a series of tiny daily habits. These habits are accessible to everyone, regardless of your current income level. And if you begin consistently executing these habits, you'll find yourself living a productive life, being generally happy, and on a sure path to build wealth. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 11 tiny daily habits that you can begin executing today that will transform your wealth and take your life to the next level. The very first habit on this list is journaling, specifically gratitude journaling. Gratitude journaling is a form of journaling in which you focus on the things that you are grateful for. For me personally, I like to write down at least 3 things that I'm grateful for every single day. Gratitude journaling, as well as journaling, has been proven to help you get clarity in your mind. As you put your thoughts to paper, you are able to clearly think about it. Gratitude journaling can help you make sense of a seemingly difficult situation. It can help you trust your own thinking and your own decision making. And by practicing gratitude every single day, you are sure to be attracting good things into your life instead of just focusing on the negative. And I don't know about you, but I know for me, journaling really helps me to open my eyes to other possibilities. Something may be going on in my life and I'll think this is the worst thing ever. And then I'll sit down to write it down on paper and I'll see that, oh, it's actually not that big of a deal. Now, why is this important to building wealth? In 2003, 2 psychologists, Robert Emmons and Michael McClure, conducted a groundbreaking study to test the impact of gratitude on daily life. They had participants split into 3 groups. The first group wrote things that they were grateful for every single day. The second group wrote things that irritated them, things that pissed them off, things that they were unhappy with every single day. While the other group wrote neutral events that had neither positive nor negative effects on their emotions. Over 10 weeks, the results were striking. The participants who focused on gratitude were feeling more positive, more optimistic, and reported feeling more optimistic and satisfied with their lives. They slept better, they exercised more, and they were able to do seemingly hard things easier in their life because they had just an overall positive, outlook on life. And they also had fewer physical complaints like headache or cold, things that you may come across on a day-to-day basis due to stress. Whereas the other groups showed no positive attributes. Nothing good came out of focusing on things that irritated you or focusing on just neutral events. What this study showed us is that gratitude journaling doesn't just help you to be happier or be more optimistic. It serves as a catalyst for other important habits, which is why it is important for building wealth. But building wealth is a skill. Building wealth is all about constantly executing habits like reviewing your expenses, habits like living below your means, habits like saving more, like being frugal. And all these habits, even though they seem simple and small, they actually can be very hard to execute. It's very difficult to know that, you have 100k in the bank and you could use that money to buy yourself a BMW, but you choose to delay gratification and you choose to invest that money for your future. It's a simple habit, but it can take a toll emotionally, which is where gratitude journaling comes in, right? Because gratitude journaling is a way for you to see what is most important in your life. Like, you could spend the day feeling like, oh, woe is me, I'm being frugal, I'm taking the bus instead of taking Ubers. Or you could spend time journaling and you can transform that in your mind and say, hey, I'm grateful because I live in a city where there's good public transportation. I'm grateful because I have the choice between taking a bus and taking an Uber. Do you see? By focusing on positive and being grateful for that, it's easier for you to stay committed to your financial goals. It's easier for you to build financial habits. It's easier for you to take risks. It's easier for you to say no to immediate gratification in favor of who you want to be in the future. So this is a very small shift that you can execute every single day. It shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes a day to write down 3 things that you're happy with, or 10 minutes a day to even just put down your thoughts. Another format that I take is I write down what happened today, how did I react, how did I feel about it, and why did I react that way. Those are like 2 prompts that I use in general to get clarity, and just getting mental clarity has definitely helped me on my wealth building journey. Second tiny daily habit is reviewing your expenses. Again, this is a habit that should not take you more than 10 minutes a day. It's a very good practice because it keeps you focused on your financial goals. Many times you go through the day and within the course of 24 hours, you've spent a lot of money. You took the bus, or you took Ubers, or you bought a coffee, or you gave somebody, some money. A family member had an emergency and you stepped in to help. You saw something on sale and you bought it. You are walking past an advert on your way to work about a new makeup piece and you decided to buy it. Throughout the day, you are making tiny purchase decisions, and it's just helpful at some point in the day just to find 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just open your credit card statement, open your bank statement, and look at what have I spent today, and am I spending in line with my goals. This daily reminder, this daily practice of being mindful of your expenses is a surefire way of building wealth, because you build wealth not with your income. You build wealth with what is left from your income. So even if you make a lot of money, but you are always spending it, chances are very likely that you are not going to have a lot of money at the end of the month to put into your financial goals. So take 5-10 minutes a day while you are grabbing your coffee, while you are waiting in the elevator, open up a bank statement and just look at how you spent your money that day and ask yourself the simple question: did I spend money in line with my financial goals? The third tiny daily habit that I want you to begin to execute if you're stressed about building wealth is having focused deep work sessions every single day. Deep work sessions, if you have never heard about them, are a dedicated block of time in your day in which you take away all distractions and you focus on executing one task. For example, right now, this is my focused deep work session of this day. I've carved out time in my day, my phone is away, all distractions are away from me, and I'm focusing on this one task. Deep work sessions are very, very helpful, especially for you to execute on some of the hard tasks that you feel less motivated to do. But the power of deep work is what is called flow, entering into a flow state. You probably experienced this at least once or twice in your life, when you start working on something and you absolutely lose track of time. This happened to me just yesterday. I was trying to work on something. I was trying to plan these YouTube videos, but I've been procrastinating on it for such a long time. Before I started working on it, I had so many excuses. I'm hungry, it's late, I have other things I want to do, I have other things I need to be aware of. But immediately I committed to a deep work session of just 25 minutes. I could no longer feel hunger. Time passed. I actually was there for over 2 hours. I just got a lot of work done. Focused deep work is so important because if you want to build wealth, you are going to need to give value to the world in one shape or form, right? Either through a business, through a side hustle, or through a job. And in each of those 3 different circumstances, you need to be able to do deep focused work to bring your best self. In 2009, a researcher at the University of Minnesota, Sophie Leroy, published a study that is titled, "Why is it so hard to do my work?" This study aimed to understand why people struggle to do their best work when switching from task to task in modern work environments. In her study, Sophie introduced this concept called attention residue, which is basically kind of like the hangover that you feel when you switch from one task to another. Think about it like you're doing something focused and then you break your attention and you go to something else. The first few minutes of you switching your attention, you're gonna feel weird, you're gonna feel groggy. And then imagine you are doing that every so often. You're working on one task, then you break, you go to another task, then you break, then you go to another task. And this is what many of us do. Every single day we go from task to distraction to distraction to distraction. And we find that at the end of the day, we cannot go back to the task that we're working on. She found like quick interruptions of work, like even just checking an email or responding to a colleague who is passing by, leaves your focus stranded on the task that you are previously working, which makes it incredibly difficult to fully engage with whatever you're trying to do next, especially if that thing that you're trying to do next is complex. The bottom line is, Constantly shifting gears from one task to another task to a distraction back to another task drains your focus and it drains your energy and it just slows you down throughout the day. You will have more and more blocks of unproductive, wasted time, which is why it's important for you to have focused, deep work sessions throughout the day where you're not switching your attention, your attention is locked in on one thing. That, my friends, is how you would increase your income so that you can build wealth. The fourth tiny daily habit is batching tasks. There are two categories of tasks in a day. Yeah, just two. One category are focused, difficult tasks. So these are creative tasks, brainstorming events, times when you need to really solve an important problem. And then there are other tasks in your day which are more mundane, tiny. They don't require that much focus. They don't require that much productivity. Example of this in your day includes things like cleaning, cooking, replying emails, entering the bus, just commuting. These are tasks in your day that don't require as much focus as, preparing a pitch deck or building a financial model or writing or reviewing a legal brief. The daily habit that I want to focus on here is I want you to batch those mundane tasks together. Again, just coming from the previous point. If you look at your calendar, how is your calendar structured? Many people structure their calendar like big task, tiny task, big task, tiny task. No. What you want to do is you want to have your calendar in a way that you batch your tasks, similar tasks together. Tasks that require a lot of focus, you put them together. Then tasks that don't require a lot of focus, you batch them together. A good example of this is cooking. Many people cook every single day. So you go to work, you come back and you cook for an hour. You do it again on Tuesday, you do it again on Wednesday. But what if you could sit down on Saturday and you can batch all that and do it at once? Instead of going to the grocery store every single day, you can go to the grocery store once a week for the entire week, and you create more time during the week to do focus work. Instead of cleaning your apartment every single day after work or before work, you can do that once a week. There are so many tiny tasks that if you batch them together, first of all, you save time, and second of all, you leverage the focused deep work that we said. So instead of having 1 hour of cooking every single day, of which you will struggle with switching between tasks because of what we now know as attention residue, you can take 3 hours on the weekend and batch all your cooking together. This allows you to do deep work, focus on your cooking for 3 hours and call it done. And throughout the week, you have extra time that you could use to do other things like do work, relax, catch up with your family and friend, go to the gym, or explore other hobbies. The fifth important daily task that I want you to focus on is making to-do lists. Yes, making to-do lists is so powerful for many reasons. First reason is it helps you to get tasks from your brain into a sheet of paper. The brain is a processing machine. The more you can free up space in your brain to do what it does best, process information, the more productive and wealthier you will become. If you use your brain for things like storing short-term tasks, trying to remember every single thing with your brain, you will struggle. And this is where the concept of the second brain comes in. And I have a video about that I will link up somewhere here. But back to this point of making daily to-do lists. Have a daily brain dump where you write down every single thing that you think you need to do that day. I do it all the time, and I always have my journal or my iPad to do that with me. Now, I want you to take this habit a step further by every night before you sleep, write down what the most important 3 things that you like to achieve the next day are. So today, ask yourself, if tomorrow is going to be a successful day, what will be the most important 3 things I would like to achieve? This daily habit is sure going to help you focus on the most important things in your life. If your goal is building wealth, if your goal is getting rich, building wealth and getting rich should be important things in your life. You should be focusing on things that would help you achieve that outcome. It could be as simple as having a conversation with your boss the next day. It could be as simple as building a great financial model, making sure that you are doing well at your job, you're performing at the next level, or you are reaching out to a new client, you're reaching out to a new business partner. Whatever that is, taking the time to set a daily intention before the day is very powerful to ensuring that you actually do it when the time comes. And the 6th daily habit is very related to the 5th one. It's titled Eat the Frog. There's a book that has the exact same title, and it's a very short book. I encourage you to read it. And the key goal of that book, the key thesis of the book is When you make your to-do list and you write down the things that you want to do, there's always something on that list that you don't feel like doing. We call it the frog. And you may not feel like doing it. Most times you don't feel like doing it because it is a very difficult task. It's probably the most challenging tasks on your to-do list. Maybe it requires high creativity. Maybe it requires you to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, like having a chat with your boss, having a review meeting at work, or asking for a raise. Maybe it requires you to do something that you do not know how to do, but there's always something on your daily to-do list that is a frog. You don't want to do it. And that book challenges you that when you sit down in the beginning of the day to begin to execute your to-do list, the first thing you want to do is eat the frog. You want to eat the frog first. Think about it like you're eating a plate of food, right? And let's assume that you don't like eating your greens. On the plate, you have your greens, you have chicken, you have other things that you like to eat. It actually makes sense that you start by eating what you do not like first, so that by the time you end the meal, the residual taste in your mouth is the chicken or whatever it is that you like on the plate. It's the exact same thing. Most times, the frog, the task that you do not want to do, is usually the most needle-moving task on your to-do list. It is usually the most important task that it has the potential to have high impact in your life. And by eating the frog first, by doing that thing first, you're setting yourself up to build wealth, to be more productive, because you are doing the most important thing every single day. I never know the way the day may go, right? You may have planned to execute 20 tasks, and then something unexpected may come your way and you will only be able to execute 5. So by putting the most important thing first, you are guaranteeing yourself that every single day you are moving forward towards your goal because you are prioritizing the most important things. The 7 daily habits, very similar to these other ones as well, is writing down your goal every single day. Research has shown us that people who write down their goals are 42% more likely to achieve their goals than people who do not write down their goals. And this was proven in a research conducted in 2015 by Dr. Gail Matthews, a psychology professor at the University of California, who recruited 267 participants. He broke them into different groups and gave them different tasks. One group was told to just think about their goals every day. Another group was told to write down their goals. And the other group was told to write down their goals, share it with their friends, and share their friends' weekly updates. The people who wrote down their goals were 42% more successful in achieving their goals than the ones who just thought about it. And the ones who went a step further by sharing their goals with their friends and providing weekly updates, which is accountability anyway, were definitely ahead of the pack, right, in achieving their goals. So this clearly is a daily habit that is very important if you are thinking of being more productive or building wealth. Now, I want to push this thinking a little bit further, and I want to ask you to write your goals down every single day. Yeah, just write down every single day what is the most important thing to you. When you wake up in the morning, just write down, by December 2025, I would have achieved these 3 things. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Just take the time every single day to write down your goals. This practice would definitely keep your goals front and center. When your goals are at the front and center of your mind, it is easier for you to seek out opportunities. It is easier for you to recognize opportunities in your environment when they come up. And it's easier for your behavior, your words, your emotions, all to be lined up towards that goal. Many people set their goals in January and forget about it. Their goals are sitting in a document somewhere, and they may not open that document until the end of the year when they are reviewing the goals, and then they will be like, oops, I actually did not achieve my goal. You can save yourself from that problem by every single day taking 5 minutes. It shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes to write down, these are the 3 most important goals for me to achieve at the end of the year. Or these are the 3 most important goals for me to achieve this month or this quarter. But every single day, just taking time to write down goals, not just to-do lists, but goals, is important to building wealth. Number 8, getting sunshine. Yes, sunshine is amazing. It is God's way of giving us a dopamine and serotonin boost every single day. It's been proven that just taking 10-15 minutes to leave your environment, go outside, get a walk, let the sun touch you, lifts your mood, raises your productivity, gives you mental clarity, which are all the things that you need to do the amount of focus work that you need to build wealth. That is the things you need to regulate your emotion if you are feeling depressed. And most times, I don't know about you, but I know me, if I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling depressed, it always leads to me making bad financial decisions. Either I'm buying something I should not buy, or I'm eating something I should not eat, or something like that. Like all this, or I'm taking shortcuts, right? So instead of disciplining myself to take the bus, I'm taking Ubers. Instead of disciplining myself to cook or eat what I already have in the house, I'm buying something else. I'm buying comfort food, and I'm buying comfort clothes and comfort technology. Hey, I'm being honest here. So just taking a walk, like immediately I feel myself feeling frustrated, feeling overwhelmed, feeling sad, feeling a bit depressed. I know it's time to put on my sneakers and get out the door and get some sunshine. Sunshine is free therapy. So getting sunshine every day, even if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, is incredibly powerful. The ninth daily habit is learning. Every single day, make sure you're learning something. And you can do this again. These things do not take so much time. You can do this as podcasts on your way to work. You can listen to a podcast. You can listen to an audiobook. You can read a physical book during lunch, before bed, while waiting in line, while in the elevator. Like, these are things that you can do. If you drive to work, perfect atmosphere for you to listen to a podcast or an audiobook. Readers are leaders. That's a very popular saying that I'm sure you've heard multiple times. But learning helps you to open your mind to information that you would not know, not consider. Open your mind to different perspectives. It helps you to upskill yourself. Like, you can learn a language, you can learn about a new industry by just focusing on it every day. You can hear about tips, tricks that you may not know, it may not be open to you in your environment. So taking time every single day to learn is definitely a way to build wealth, because you're opening yourself to more information, better information that could be helpful to you. The 10th thing is for you to do something that makes you happy every day. Every financial decision is an emotional decision. I've made a few videos here about like the psychology of money, and I'll link some of them up here, right? But every financial decision to invest, decision to save, decision to buy something, decision to work harder to make money is an emotional decision. So getting your emotions in a great place is a surefire way to build wealth. And that is why doing something that you love every single day is important. Again, why is this important? Is because by doing something that you love, you are naturally putting yourself in a positive emotional state. And when you're in a positive emotional state, you are more likely to stick to your financial goals. You are more likely to delay gratification and invest in your long-term goals that are important to you. You are more likely to make better finance, investing, saving decisions anyway. And this could be anything. I like dancing, and I try to dance once a day. I find a reason just to dance, right? Dancing gives me joy. For you, it could be anything. It could be going to the gym, it could be playing tennis, it could be cuddling with your dog. Whatever it is that makes you happy, that you can do in 5-10 minutes every day, I want you to begin to sneak that in, because your mind is the most important tool that you have to building wealth. And this also ties into number 11, which is connecting with your loved ones. Again, positive mental state. A call to your friend, a call to your parents, to your grandma, to your kids, could be the emotional boost that you need, the courage that you need, the self-esteem that you need to walk up to your boss and ask for a raise. It could be the motivation that you need to work harder. I know that many people who, their reason for working hard, their reason for wanting to build wealth is their children. So spending 5 minutes or 10 minutes every day putting your children to bed, talking to your family can be a strong motivating force to build wealth. I've spoken a lot about how some of these positive mental habits help you to make better buying decisions, help to make better financial decisions. If you are interested in more ways in which you can increase your margin, which is the difference between your income and your expenses, then you should watch this video that I made about things that I've stopped buying to save money. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!